Welcome back, guys. We're into a PvP between two players that are very familiar with each other and can play a little odd. In the top left is the red Protoss. It is Astrea. In the top right, as the blue Protoss for root, it is puCK. And they both went for low ground gateway. And I just feel like we're already starting, guys. We're already starting. If this is a friendly match, I would have said, you guys know it's not PvZ, right? But it's pretty super totes professional, super serious, so. I gotta imagine one of these guys decided to try this, or maybe they saw someone else do it and thought it was a good idea, and then the other person was like, wow, that actually works. I also imagine it's a year zero thing. Since year zero is a very long map, and you can wall off with 3 buildings on it. I think the only map you can't wall off with 3 buildings is like... Well, no, wait. Does the Tom wall off with 3 buildings? Exactly, no pylon, no depth, I don't know. Protoss walls, I mean, what even are they? But anyway, it's a very long map. And, it does have a ramp on it. I'm trying to figure this out as we go. All on the gases. This is a Cybernetic core, not a gateway, so... Okay, so it's not about being able to wall off with 3, you know, non-pylon buildings. Well, it's definitely forward gateways. I mean, like, I'm actually trying to think of why this isn't a thing. You know, trying to approach it from that angle. Why isn't this a thing on other maps? On any maps that don't have a ramp, yeah, I feel like the risk of being able, like, poking and prodding at a gateway would be, like, too big, but... See, the thing is, I actually really like it for Astrea, because he's going to go for a Nexus, a faster Nexus. He didn't go for double gateways. And that's a risky build that is sometimes done in PvP, but I kind of like the idea of doing it with a wall on the longest map possible, and then getting a Nexus. But puCK is actually just, he's just doing a regular opener, but on the front. So, I don't know.
Game resumed.
We're gonna watch this develop, basically. PvP's already kind of like a mystery to me. And that meme, the face with all the, like, the angles and geometry and stuff on it, but then you throw in some weird openers, and I'm like, oh, okay. But as I said, I do like Astrea's version better, but puCK could, I guess, do this, could be aggressive with it, as he was putting on a pylon that was scouted, and then have a really safe natural Nexus, where if you go for the high ground wall off, and then your attack doesn't work, or in general, you know, you want to take a Nexus and they're attacking or something like that, then this is a very vulnerable base for a little while. You know, you get your pylon, which might not get up, and then if you get the pylon, you gotta wait for the shield battery, which might not get up too, and in this case, they'd have to break through an entire wall to get to that Nexus, so... Well, Stargate for Stargate. Let's just move on here. Astrea might have gone for the Gateway Cybernetic core, but does throw on that second tech before the Nexus. There's the Nexus now. puCK gonna be slightly behind. I'm guessing puCK was going to proxy that Stargate if he was able to keep that pylon alive. puCK has scouted the lack of double gateway, but is gonna throw down a shield battery at the front? Trying to read as to why he would do that. Because this is 100 minerals that aren't going to help out, and he wants a shield battery in the main with if it's a Stargate from your opponent, right? He is going for an Oracle. Astrea is going for a Phoenix, and the Phoenix finds the Oracle, so this is really just a terrible start for puCK. He built a gateway that's kind of like quote-unquote unnecessary, and then built an Oracle that's not going to do anything. I do believe sacrificing the Phoenix for the Oracle is worth it. Ideally, you don't have to, but I think that was worth it. And then he also built a shield battery that isn't really helpful right now.
Game paused.
Wow. I'm pretty sure puCK is in a central state. Some state that people like Dakota or something. One of the Dakotas. But, apparently going to West is really hurting him. Well, unfortunately, Astrea is totally in the right to say you have to play on West because West is default.
Game resumed.
Okay, so the awkwardness aside here, puCK is gonna have to play an apparently really high ping, which makes, if this is a Phoenix War, I think it'd be impossible, but in general, PvP, any matchup's not good for high ping. But you could maybe make an argument that, like, maybe in PvZ, as the Zerg player, you could maybe just set up a surround, which you can do kind of an advance and kind of 1A, and maybe that's a little less problematic with high ping. I think arguments have been made along those lines. I don't get involved in these fights. I'm just copying what pro gamers have said, because if I said that and I believed it, Zerg players would never talk to me. Anyways, but the point is, like, PvP, you're on... what it just says the Protoss race, right? You're on valuable, expensive, good units, but a small amount of them. So one bad move and you lose even one stalker, that's still more expensive than if one bad move leads to 2 lings going down, or even 4 lings going down. Astrea now dominates the skies and dominates the map with the Phoenix, even though there's not a ton of them. He counted an Oracle opener. It kind of feels like Astrea just has a better opener. Like, he was reading into what puCK would do at every single state. He saw the pylon, he made the Phoenix against the Oracle and was looking for it. And these guys do face each other a ton on ladder, so it makes sense that... Oh, the Oracle actually got around. I thought he canceled it, but it just did... Yeah, I was getting caught up in the ping conversation. Anyways, okay, besides that, when that was really important, 9 probes going down to the Oracle and the Natural, that is actually exactly what puCK needed to make up for the Oracles doing absolutely nothing. So that's really good, but back to my point, Astrea just seems to figure out what puCK's doing, and even if puCK generally wins on ladder, I think they could easily swing the other way, because they are still meeting each other constantly on ladder, which means that, like, it's not like Astrea's, like, straight up worse than puCK or vice versa. And PvP does have a lot of different openers, different ways of playing. Now, these Phoenix are stuck in the corner, but recall is going to be available. It's just a matter of if you think recall is necessary. There's 5 stalkers guarding 3 Phoenix, so what about the front? Astrea is moving across the map. Blink is going to be done for Astrea long before it's done for puCK. +1 also not going to be done. And Astrea, as soon as he gets the high ground, can blink past the wall. Gonna go ahead and reveal his stalkers on the front line, though, by killing that pylon. And even though puCK has a lot of units in the main guarding against the Phoenix, he still has a decent number in the Natural, and that shield battery that I originally had remarked not being too useful is useful. As it was going to be. It just is one of those things where you don't want to build something that's useful 5 minutes from now, right? That's 2 probes you could have made. That's so much more mining that could have been done. That's, you know. We all know how StarCraft works. What you can also do is lift, go ahead and blink into the main. Lift up the stalkers, either crowd control them or just go ahead and target fire them. Astrea does exactly that. Observer also here in case the Phoenix end up dying for their dives. No proxy piling means that Astrea's not going to get a lot of damage done, I guess. But behind this, he is looking for a third Nexus and is only now getting his Forge. So that is the big difference here. Astrea without that +1 going into a stalker-to-stalker battle. That is going to be quite impactful. Don't even know how that stalker got over there. What happened there? I guess a blink? Didn't even know you could resume from a replay. Hells yeah, it's been in the game for a while now. You could even do it with a pro replay and get a friend and take commands. So if you were like, I think I could have controlled that better than Innovation did, you could actually go ahead and try and do that. That is a risky move. The recall is still slow enough that you're going to lose 1 or 2 stalkers as you recall, which is exactly what happened. I'm not exactly sure that was worth blinking forward because they also lost energy on the Nexus. So no recall for a while. Not that he really needs it. And lacking Chronos. Dark Shrine is on the way in the very, very corner. The Phoenix are still alive, so it's a risk. They could go back in there and try and snipe a probe, but unlikely. The Phoenix is probably going to die trying to pick up a couple stalkers. It might just be a risk worth taking. And Astrea does not have any mobile detection anymore because his observer died? Oh, wait. Okay, it just went back home? Or maybe this is just a new one. I guess it's a new one. But he does have the ability to make observers, so unless the DTs get on top of the Robo and the Stargate, detection is not going to be the main issue, but more so that the DTs can be split up into every base while Astrea is trying to attack and do a lot of damage. Well, that's funny. You don't usually see an Oracle target a shield battery, but it does a pretty damn good job at it. Kills it. And can come back again later, as puCK probably doesn't want to afford a Phoenix. Cancels the third Nexus, feeling the heat, I suppose. That means that Astrea, having already had this up for quite some time, even though there's not a lot of probes mining on it, could have a substantial economic lead. Produce a couple more probes, transfer the ones from the main base as it mines out. I'm still feeling really good about Astrea, even though puCK now has not just the option of Dark Templars, but also Archons, and he still has the upgrade lead. And this Observer, oh, this Observer, he sniped puCK's Observer. So puCK can't stop this one from coming in and seeing the Dark Shrine, which wasn't used. The Warp Prism has been made. It was going to just now warp in DTs, but that timing. If there's any proxy pylon on the field, these DTs would have already been in the main base, but this is such perfect timing from Astrea. He moves back. Where's the Observer? Where's the Observer? Where's the Observer? There it is. So I was like, well, the Immortal is tracking it, so. And that is it. So puCK just getting too enclosed on 2 bases. Could never break out. Gets chip damage. But the start was actually so bad. I think that was always a game that he didn't feel too confident about. The next map's gonna be on Central. Just waiting on pucks ready. There we go. King's Cove, game number 2. Central. Hopefully puck's gonna feel better about this game. I think straight up, as I said, he just had the worst opener, and ping didn't have anything to do with that. But then as we got into more of the mid game, I do think ping would start to affect him in both micro as well as just mental state. It would be a little bit better now. In the bottom right, down 1, it is the blue Protoss Roots puck. In the top left, as the red Protoss, it is Astrea. Ooh, did Scarlet lose? Oh no, they're still in getting rolling. Actually, Scarlet looks like she's winning. Oh, WS chat never change. Okay, so I guess that was just a year 0 thing. They both, well, hold on. Now, why do you do this to me, Astrea? It still was only a year 0 thing, but puck goes for the wall off we expect. Astrea doesn't go for a wall off. He's inviting adepts into his main base. Please, send adepts in. Now, maybe you're new to StarCraft, don't watch a lot of pro games, or maybe you just kind of get away with doing this and you know you're not supposed to, but you can't be bothered to know how to wall. Like, I don't know. But, like, why is wall so popular? Well, let me tell you a story. Back in the beginning of Legacy of the Void, adepts were both broken and stupidly broken at different times. And they were also stupidly overused. They were the new unit. They were a good unit. You know, not blaming anyone, but they were. So, you had really dumb PvP games where it was just literally adepts versus adepts. And then if you could afford a Stargate, maybe you win because they don't have anti-air. So it's adepts versus adepts. Oh, so silly. Now, the adepts changed, the meta changed, pros got better, blah, 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 and we all had our happy, fun times with PvP. But one of the things you could do to stop the adepts from just literally being a base trade scenario, like, oh, I killed your probes faster than you killed mine, was you could wall off. And then you either shades, cancel out of the shades, by the way, so you could shade and block a shade, or you can just throw down a shield battery, which is lower health, as such builds faster, and doesn't get broken. If you get away with not walling off in PvP, it's probably because you're not facing that many, like, good players. Or it's probably because you are intentionally trying to trap the adepts. You're trying to say, you make adepts, and I will counter your adepts, so you try and get my main base, but my stalkers keep finding yours. Or something along those lines. Because otherwise, they one-shot probes. If the adepts get anywhere close to the probe line, even a fast pull on the probe still nets, like, 2 or 3 probe damage, and then the adepts are kind of chunky still. So they can oftentimes get out. So it's just a huge risk. And at a very tip-top PvP level, usually it's a risk not worth taking. They're just always going to be able to... They're going to have the presence, the APM, to actually send 2 adepts from here, constantly up here, so that you're not capable of always paying attention and pulling the probes in time and whatnot, but... Look who's getting away with it. Look what's happening. puCK went for the Stalker Sentry opener, so he had the hallucination to scout this. He didn't make any adepts whatsoever. Actually, Astrea that made adepts. Could go for the Sentry, checks the Nexus. He's no Nexus. Or we're gonna swap, fly on by. Swoop on in. That's what I was going for. Swoop on in. The shield battery will be done. 2 Stalkers will be ready, so it's not gonna do too much. But can Astrea hold his natural? The wall doesn't really make any difference right now. It's just about the natural not having a shield battery and puCK having a proxy pylon. Oh, look at that. So the adepts, as I was talking about, they one-shot probes, so the shield battery can't help them here. The stalkers have to pick and choose what they defend against. They do go ahead and snipe the stasis trap and then take out one of the adepts, so only 3 probes go down. Not too bad. If he had any less stalkers there, it could have been a lot worse, I think. But now can Astrea hold? Can he hold? He wants to start an Immortal, but he doesn't have the gas, I guess? As he Chronos, there we go. I was like, he definitely has the gas. This is a little bit awkward. That Warp Prism providing that blink ability, basically, for puCK. Also, instant reinforcements. Astrea, really surprised he didn't go for a shield battery once he realized there was no Nexus and the army was moving out. But now there will be no Nexus. This probe will stall out any further attempts at a Nexus. And Astrea's going to give his up. Maybe that was really his plan all along. Even if the Immortal had been started immediately, it's only like a 5-second difference. And he probably still is contained because Force Field good. Force Field. Robotics Bay now on the way for puCK. Interesting choice. We do see sometimes going into disruptors when you're behind in a game, or you're being contained, but as far as directing yourself to it without much else happening, just being like, you know what, I want to play disruptors, that is still kind of like a puCK thing, an NA thing, a kind of a weirder playstyle thing. You're not going to see it too often in like GSL, Korean PvPs, or even in European PvPs. But I do believe that's what it's for. I think puCK maybe had like one Colossus build at one point, but I'd still be surprised if it was Colossus. Astrea is getting to that better army. The Immortal alone. It is Colossus. Okay, well. The Immortal alone makes this quite a good army, but then he also has his own Warp Prism. puCK realized his time to contain was running out, so he's already backed away a little bit here. What is in that? A sentry. Oh, is he gonna try and... No. No, I don't know what that was about. Thought maybe he was gonna try and get a high ground force field and like draw Astrea out, but he wasn't really in position to set that up, so I don't know what was in the Warp Prism. Phoenix is now on the way, I guess, to deal with the Warp Prism of puCK. It's actually not necessary, but I get it. Could be a problem. Oracle's still alive. Proxy pylon set up here, warping in some adepts. No scout on the robotics bay? No, he did see it. He saw it forming. Now, does he assume that's disruptors? Is that why he's building Phoenix? I think it is. I think it is. So, yeah, the Phoenix would help out the Warp Prism, but more importantly, they'll be able to lift the disruptors. Now, as far as Phoenix against Colossus goes, Colossus aren't exactly like the you know, they don't have the biggest health pool, but I still would take a lot of shots from a Phoenix to kill Colossus. So I don't think Astrea is guessing Colossus, and that might be exactly what puCK is hoping for, that he kind of like quote unquote wastes time on Phoenix. But Phoenix can still lift up Stalkers. They can lift up the Sentries. Sentries would be really easy kills for the Phoenix. Oracle has not seen the army. Did the Stalker even see the Colossus? Does he know yet? What do you even do differently if you know? I don't know. It's one Colossus just doesn't seem like it's going to be that great. I feel like I'd rather have 2 or 3 Immortals, but maybe Astrea just simply doesn't have enough army yet. The Phoenix go after the Warp Prism, which is a great target, and they find it. The Stalkers tried their best to do something for it, but there's too many Phoenix, even though there weren't that many. So the Warp Prism goes down, and the army gets pushed back. Some probes do go down to the main base, though. Adepts managed to get their way through there. I guess the Warp Prism dropped them off, or maybe I missed the shade from this proxy pylon, and Astrea took so long to notice. That's where the real damage was being done. If he had simply pulled the probes away, then he'd still be at a higher worker count. That's, oof. He held that so damn well, but to lose that many probes, they're looking for some revenge. 2 adepts right into the probe line. Gonna get 3 probes, maybe a 4th here as he pulls back a little prematurely. Maybe 6. Is the target firing the right one? Okay. Wait, I miscounted that. How did I miscount that? Okay, point is, he got 5. We have another Colossus on the way. Still no extend with Thermal Lance. That's why I was on upgrades. There it is. I had 1 range to the Colossus. Astrea managed to help bridge the gap a little bit there, but he really shouldn't have lost so many probes in the main base. That was a huge mistake. And it's not like I'm really blaming him. I didn't see it either. More Phoenix. Maybe this is his response to Colossus. It's just such a weird thing to watch happen. I don't know. Okay, alright. I guess he was 3, so that's like a decent amount to harass with as well. Maybe he's thinking more along those lines. Nice Immortal harassment. No blink. Flight Council was only on the way, so he could even take a couple of Stalkers with him. What the fuck is it? Why is there so many force fields? What the hell? Oh my god, he was like playing like a Rainer Party minigame or something. He was like drawing the immortal towards him with force fields. It's so silly. I'll tell you what, Colossus will deal with the light army of the Protoss pretty nicely. I don't even want to say easily though, because while they deal with the 2 Adepts fine, I feel kind of strongly that... Oh, can you see this immortal? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Save it, save it! Oh, 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 oh my god, oh my god. Really cool stuff here from Astrea. I feel like Colossus, unless you manage to get to like 3 bases and like 4 Colossus with a decent ground army, then it may be different. But as far as getting up to 3 bases and a little on 3 bases, I feel like the army size of someone who goes Colossus and the army type isn't as good as someone who goes Immortal Charge on Archon. So maybe Colossus are great at killing Zealots when they're clumped up and, you know, there's only like 10 of them, but what if there's 25 of them and they have a concave? I don't know, man. I just don't know. You don't see Colossus too often. At least I mentioned that he had gone for it, but I'm trying to remember what happened in the game that I saw puCK go for it, and I just can't remember. I feel like the game went kind of weird, so he did come almost like a 2-base Colossus all-in out of... Like, he just recognized the situation would be good for him, and then he did win, but I'm not certain about that. Oh, anyways, this proxy pilot still alive is going to be a nuisance as he walks right past these Adepts. They could go into the main base. Charge is not done. It only just started, and he decides not even to go for it. Maybe thinking that he's too late to get charged on Archon against the growing number of Colossus, so he's just going right into the... Oops, a daisy. He's going right into the Tempest, but it's going to be on 2 bases, guys. 2 bases. Who does this? What is this game? Roddy, are you watching? I need your help. Okay, well the Phoenix are successfully cut down to size. Very injured 3rd one there. puCK has 3 Colossus, a ton of Stalkers, no upgrades? No, he did finish Blink. Okay, so a base trade? It's a good thing he has Blink. There won't be a lot of Tempest, and the army won't be protecting the Tempest, so I believe puCK will get a stronger start to the base race. I think. Kill the Nexus, go right into the main base. Immortals will be faster at killing buildings than Colossus will be. Oh, so much for that second Tempest. This one's gonna pop out, but it's Blink Stalker, so even though they're speedy boys, kinda still, I don't think it would be able to get away. Oh, actually, no. If he blinked forward, only half of the Stalkers would have blinked forward, I think, because of Sim City, but he decides not even to chase it. So that Tempest... Oh, if this is the Savior Tempest, that would be something pretty cool. Now that we're officially in a base race, by the way, it really sucks that Astrea did not get that War Prism, and he didn't have time to rebuild one either. That is going to be very, very useful. Phoenix coming back to guard the Tempest. Oh my god, what is he trying to... Oh, he thought that was high ground! Oh, I don't think it is. Maybe if he played more Zerg and he realized it's not a place for hide overlords. Oh, does anyone brought probes out? We have 1 probe for Astrea building a Nexus, 6 probes carried in the War Prism. Nice stuff there for puCK. puCK loves when games get weird, man. This is his territory. Got a single probe over here that's probably gonna die. It's revealing itself too fast. Alright, down to 4 probes. I mean, with a War Prism, the probes are probably fine. Astrea has not enough minerals for another Nexus if he cancels this one. But he does have a solid amount of minerals, so he could maybe try and start up a base again. puCK can build 2 pylons or like 4 simulators. No, not even 3 simulators, actually. I don't know. Maybe try. I feel like if Astrea had a really good concave on this army, maybe he has a shot, but I think the army supply is just too big. Charge also never finished up, so these Zealots aren't as useful. Immortals are very weak, too. Like, yeah, I think puCK does win this fight. Just like the Observer goes down. BTs were a thing. Oh, that was only... Okay, second Observer. Astrea is definitely like, you come to me, man. He has a Nexus, so he's well within his rights. As the person base racing with a Nexus, you are supposed to say, you come to me. But I think that's the only way he has a chance in this fight as well. Let's not forget the Warp Prism Micro is going to be pretty darn big here. Even if the Colossus are focus fired down by Immortals, you can definitely save them. He's looking for the... finds an Assimilator. He can't really afford to split off any army. I'm gonna go ahead and take the fight here. I do believe puCK's army wins. These Zealots looking so stupid trying to run towards this army. Even if they had charged, and there's only like 6 of them, they would have melted the Colossus anyways. Phoenix trying to come back to help out. Shields have been popped. That's a nice thing about the Colossus attack too. I didn't think about this, but they probably pop every single Immortal shield. And that's that. What a weird game. I'm not even sure what to say about this. I feel like if Astrea had played a normal game, guarded his economy, didn't lose the 15 probes, right? GG. I think Astrea had like 2 Zealots trying to get the Assimilator. But, yeah, if he played a normal game and defensive and just got up to charge that Archon, I feel like that would have been a better army. Now, I don't know if he could have gotten to Archons before puCK would attack. I think if you get to Archons and you get to 6, I think it's laughable, because Archons will just, like, live through everything, but it's more of a question of if he had, like, 15 charge lots and 2 more Immortals. I don't know. I'm sure puCK has more insight into this since he's probably used this build more often than I've seen it. But there's definitely a reason why Colossus fallen out. Oh wow, Scarlet lost that game? Shit. Both players ready to go. Port Alexander. Astrea tried to meet weird with weird. Fast Tempests. If his aggressive army movement did keep puCK back at home, I guess it is a pretty brilliant move. Because then by the time puCK's like, you know, F you, I'm gonna attack you, he probably has like 4 or maybe even 6 Tempests. But puCK was apparently not planning on staying defensive. So, that wasn't too realistic. It's all tied up in the bottom right as the red Protoss. It is Astrea. In the top left, as the blue Protoss, it is puCK. Comstock, shouldn't have Astrea just gone back to defend his Nexus? If he defends the Nexus where it is, he's got less of a concave. And as you saw, even with a concave, he basically had no hope of defeating puCK's army. Can't explain that game. I don't know if puCK's gonna show us Colossus again, but let's not forget that the beginning of that game was quite dramatic. Like, Astrea probably should have won based off the hold against that one Colossus push. If he had not lost like 14 probes to a couple of adepts in his main, he would have had a lot more to push into more immortals. Maybe losing the Warp Prism as well, set him up poorly for that base race, but I think it was just, I think with against Colossus, and this makes sense, this is literally what happens in every single other matchup that you have Colossus in. The whole thing is that it's one big unit that's very expensive, it's also very supply heavy, that you're trying to safeguard against many, many, many units. Your Zerg versus Terran versus Protoss, usually you just expect a ton of charge lots, a decent amount of Immortals, and maybe even some Archons. But Astrea never got to do that. His reduction was camped quickly, and in that scenario, if you're gonna have even army supplies or worse in that case, then you're gonna lose. So. Thank you, Raised06 for Twitch Prime sub. Apollo's been very cute. I don't know why, but he's been in the perfect camera spot this weekend. It's like he knows. Speaking of knowing, Astrea goes for the wall off this time. I forgot the game started off with no wall off loss. Okay, whatever. They both go for wall offs. He's also doing a very good job of scouting. He's also gonna try and intercept puCK's Hallucinant Phoenix. So if you do both coincidentally, go for this opener, which is the first time they both have done this, then you are capable of denying your opponent's scout, which is exactly what happens. So, good stuff there. This Phoenix will be able to see it's a Stargate. Astrea was going for... There we go. Astrea was going for a Robo, so there's no easy peasy get a Phoenix and then, you know, ruin your day. But now you're going to have a Shield Better prepared, which is going to cover you against one Oracle, and you can definitely go for an attack. Get that Warp Prism. Get it. You're gonna have more units on the field on the front line than they are. Oracle, even if it is on the front lines, doesn't really count as that great of a defensive unit. And that proxy pylon has been set up. puCK saw the probe, but it could have been just a scouting probe. Did you really read into the possibility that it's for a pylon?
Bids received.
I think you should, but yeah. Stasis Trap is quite smart, and Astrea is going to absolutely fall for it. 3 Stalkers taken out of the equation. Is that enough to hold on, though? puCK's Oracle also not going to even try, really, to do any damage to the probe line, but does that matter? Here comes the Warp Prism for the pickup micro. In the nick of time there. Force fields go down. 3 Stalkers just seconds away from being out of that stasis. And hey, I think Astrea might just have enough to do it here. puCK is on his way to an Immortal, but it only just started, so the Nexus looks like it's going to go down. And don't forget that Astrea does not have a Nexus. So at the very least, he has to kill this. 8 probes go down, 9 probes go down. He's making his way into the main base. The Force Ward is a little bit late. Here comes the Warp Prism once again for the pickups. Shield batteries are coming down, but are they a little bit too late? It's only a single one. The Immortal will pop out, but against the Warp Prism Micro... Oops, no pickup there. You pop the shield, disengage, go back in. It is something you can snipe. I might just be going for the contain here. Get the Nexus, get out. He's deflected the Oracle, perfectly fine, no problem. Looks like he's chronoing his gateways, so still, you know, mind to attack, but he's reaching that 400 mineral mark. Thank you, Clarude, for the 100 bits. Oracle, you're gonna try to stasis trap that, aren't you? We'll see if it works. Uh-oh. puCK a little too far forward. That shield was popped. The Immortal was low. His Warp Prism was late to the party, and Astrea might just have broken his opponent. He actually goes after the Warp Prism to stop the pickup micro, and he gets it. Now target firing down the Stalkers as he can. Stalker's getting very, very low, but this Warp Prism is not going to be snipeable by this few units. Sentry goes down. No force field available again. Guardian Shield was a lifetime away. And it's a good thing Astrea didn't go for the Nexus. Actually, he could totally still afford the Nexus, but whatever. He doesn't need it. He's probably going to win the game right now. Oracle is going to try and help out. Barely. Barely does anything there, and that is it. GG, Astrea. with the moves. Takes game number 3, takes the series, and will advance his overall match